this one two different ways. Square root of negative z to the fourth. Just like whenever I talk about fractions with my students, I tell them to picture the top and the bottoms of the fractions in parentheses. Like there's little invisible parentheses right here. Got to evaluate the top first, and then you can simplify. It's just one of our conventions in math. Same thing with the square root. You got the square root sign and radical. You're supposed to evaluate what you can inside the radical first. Now, negative z to the fourth, nothing we can really do there though, because we don't know what z is, and that negative sign has to hang around because it's not, the negative sign isn't being raised to the radical power. You have to, not the radical power, you have to evaluate the exponent first, and then you get to apply the negative sign, because that comes in the multiplication step. So this one is actually as far as we can go unless we want to use imaginary numbers. If you haven't heard of imaginary numbers yet in your class, you probably shouldn't be doing this step, but it's good to know. I rewrote this like this, and the reason is because I is the square root of negative 1. So now I can break it up a little further, and there's my I right there, the square root of negative 1. So we can finish valuing. The square root of z to the fourth is going to be z to the second. It's going to be an I right there. The reason why I have z to the second here is because this is being raised to the 1/2 power. Z to the fourth to the 1/2. That's what a square root is. The square root is raising something to the 1/2 power. And when you have a power on top of a power, they multiply. 1/2 times 4 makes 2. Z to the second. Different story if the negative sign is inside of parentheses, because now it's negative z to the fourth power. Whenever it's even, things are going to cancel out perfectly, so you have negative z times negative z times negative z times negative z. That's going to make a positive z. So this one's not going to be imaginary. That one's just going to be, no, it's just going to be a z to the second for the same reason. We know it's going to be positive because it's a negative to an even power, and it's 1/2 power. So whenever you take the square root of something, you're raising something to the 1/2 power. So 1/2 times 4 makes 2.